And of course the kettle's still boiling. I'm like, I was about to go, it's ready. I'm like, no, it's not. You ever hate that when you never sort out 5 days near snow trek like Kentucky? So they actually ate fucking wolves while they were stuck out in the. You're welcome. Just wasn't sure if I had a drink yet since you started the stream. Well, I've kind of been on and off. So like I said, so if anyone is just climbing in, hello there, welcome back. And as I said, I'm Blue Streak Spider 54. I am the retro steamer of a variety of games and interests, and we came across this great little interesting number from 20 of this year of Agatha Christie's Murder on the Express, and of course we are Hercule Poirot, the French little investigator who is solving a case on the Orient Express. And I think we are virtually at the end of solving the case, where things have been adding up quite miraculously well. It's been more people seem to be connected with the Armstrong case from 3-4 years ago. And of course, the motives for everyone, there's a lot of motive for killing Rachett, who had been actually the possible person responsible for the murder of Daisy Armstrong. So if you keep that in your head, I will throw my hot chocolate. Because I cannot wait to have a hot chocolate and a fucking cold day. So yes, you're gonna probably look at me like a weirdo as I stir in my hot chocolate. It's going like, yes, I look like an old fool, so I do apologize. Root and femme, master, root and femme. So yes, I am. Yes, it's Tesco chocolate. But you know, when we gotta solve a murder. We gotta solve a murder with hot chocolate, and provided I don't get grey hairs inside my cup. Yeah, I'd rather have that. Right. Sorry about all that psychobabble we didn't need. Let's conclude this case. Let's get to the bottom of this. Like I said, I don't think even if this progresses a little bit longer, I don't think this is going to be a much longer case. So we're going back to join in book and the lady investigator to fill her in. Oh, she's having some dessert. And on book, obviously, it's gone.
So, my friend, tell me, you have something new?
Yes, we do. Sacre petits. The sleeping pills.
Mademoiselle
First of
Locke,
all.
I know who drugged you. Fräulein Schmidt and
our conductor.
Dr. Pierre Michel both admitted putting sleeping pills into your tea. This
Ergo the OD.
explains your overdose. They are relieved you are recovering.
Michel drugged a passenger? On behalf of the company, I offer my apologies to you, Mademoiselle.
Does she get a stone?
will answer for this outrage.
Both of them? I was pretty sure about Fräulein Schmidt, but I admit that I did not suspect the conductor.
The Armstrong affair. Let's roll it.
Multiple connections with the Armstrong case.
We sure have,
Michel
Poirot.
is the father of Suzanne Moreau, little Daisy's nanny, and Monsieur Hardman was Suzanne's
finance.
As for Hildegard Schmidt, she was the cook of the Armstrong family.
That
What
we
a
never fucking knew,
coincidence,
eh?
Don't you think?
But it's incredible. What are the odds that so many people linked to that tragic affair ended up on the same train?
About the same as you winning the lottery. my friend.
Yeah, it's so.
I wasn't the officer who interviewed Fräulein Schmidt back then, so she couldn't recognize me here on the train. How could they know who I was?
There were other passengers who might have. Or she may have seen you when you visited the Armstrong home. It is not
Possible.
clear to me that some of the clues to this elaborate plot were staged for my benefit.
Exactly. What did they want me to believe? The murder board chain investigate and Isabel Coverton got off in Belgrade. I think that was what it was. But what do you guys think? I actually, well, the murder got on the train at Vinox, he killed Rachett and got off immediately. That's not what they wanted me to believe. However, on the train have been knocked, he killed Rachett and is still on the train.
Think, Poirot.
No.
That is not
Okay.
a good answer.
What do you? I think it's the. If it's not that one, there you go. They want him. Yeah, they want me to think that he was gone.
My
Okay,
little grey cells did not let me down.
mine did. Sorry about that.
Some clues and information collected so far could lead to a hypothesis. The murderer boarded the train in Vinkovsky, killed Rachett, and then left the train immediately.
How did you come to that possibility?
Monsieur Hardman told me about a short man with a high-pitched voice who threatened Rachett. Imagine
deep
for a
choice.
moment that this man, wearing a wagon-lit conductor's jacket, killed him while Michel was on the platform at Vinkovsky.
But she had.
This
Someone had
murderer
that. Yeah.
Then hid
Yeah.
the conductor's jacket in Detective Locke's room
Pardon me?
and
Yeah.
fled before the train left.
Why choose Detective Locke's room?
Why, indeed. Let me re-explain from the beginning.
So this is when we've got to really think about the last episodes. So. Okay. Okay. Then it comes out to the exit from Madame Hubbard's room. Leaves a knife there. I get rid of the jacket. Well, we know we're on the road. I mean, so basically, Monsieur goes out of the platform. Right. So we know specifically the murder gets off train. Yeah, that's what they wanted us to believe. Right. So the murder boards the train disguised as a conductor. Right. Who goes down to the platform? Right, that's what they want. The murder boards a train disguised as a conductor. Takes the murderer kills Rachett and exits from his number using the jacket in the process. And the murderer. So they want us to believe that the murderer gets off at right. So he dumps the train. Right? So they want. I think this is how it's meant to go. So they want us to believe the train stops at midnight. Mr. Michel goes out to the platform to have a smoke. So that's what they want. The disguised conductor kills Rachett, tries to go from Madame Hubbard's room. Murderer leaves the knife, but losing a jacket button in the process. Then throws the jacket into her room. The murderer gets off the train, and Michel comes back. That's exactly what they wanted us to
I'm
believe.
right again. That happens to me a lot.
That makes sense to me as well. I absolutely love that.
Oui. That must be it. Everything
It
fits
doesn't.
so well.
It fits too well, my friend. Other clues lead to a second hypothesis, much more plausible.
And I honestly think there's several murders who were Ratchett's. There's so many murderers related to the Armstrong case. It's all too much of a coincidence that I think they
That
all
was
got
easy.
into it. They all wanted for
We
different
have
motives.
multiple murderers, all related to the Armstrong case. The murderer from Vinkovsky was a fabrication to turn suspicion away from those on the train. They expected the investigation to be led by some small-town official who could easily be misled.
Mr. Poirot?
Detective Locke, forgive me. You are an obvious exception. You tracked Rachett
Yeah.
with the tenacity of a bloodhound. Unfortunately for the killers, they not only had you to deal with, but now they had, and I say this with all modesty,
Okay.
the world's greatest detective, Hercule Poirot, dropped into the midst of their meticulous planning.
Multiple murderers? Multiple detectives? Poirot, please take pity on me.
Oh, poor and
Who
book.
is linked to this case and who is not?
My poor friend, I have gone speeding out of the station without you. I will continue.
God. Oh dear. Well, we know that Natalia Dragamov is related. Antonio Frostescal is connected because he was the driver. We know that Hector McQueen was the attorney that was involved in the case. We know Cyrus Hardman is the husband of Sarah. We also know that Helena Andriel is connected as well. Hildegard Schmidt was the cook. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6. Edward Masterman, he is connected. Pierre Michel, he's connected. Rudolph and Trini, is he connected? I don't think he's directly connected. No, more than 9 people are connected to the Armstrong case. Well, yeah.
No, not
Oh.
good.
Okay, we have all the people except one. Okay. Who isn't is it near the husband? Actually, I'm gonna hint this. Of course, Rachett and Locke are involved. Oh wait, have I forgotten Detective Locke? Wait, who have I... No.
I do not think
What?
that's the
Who am
right
I-
answer.
Who am I trying to connect? There. There you go. Yes, it was Locke obviously involved in the case, sorry. So I got everyone except I forgot to add
Alright,
Locke.
Schmidt.
That was true.
Pierre Michel, Monsieur Hardman, and Monsieur McQueen
Because the husband
are
wasn't
all
involved.
linked to the Armstrong case. I also know that Sonia Armstrong's sister and godmother, Countess Andreni and Princess
Dragamov, yep.
Dragamov, are on this train. And finally, Detective Locke discovered that Mr. Foscarelli was the Armstrong chauffeur.
If we add Detective Luck and Rachett, of the 12 passengers in that coach,
Yup.
9 have a connection with the Armstrong case. What next, Poirot? Or should I say, who next?
Do
It is
me!
time to
Do me!
summon everyone.
Everyone?
Right.
Even Dr. Constantine? The train crew other than Michel?
Dr. Constantine, yes. I will need him. But we don't want the others as witnesses.
I will see that their duties keep them occupied elsewhere.
Excellent. I have always thought this moment in a case is much like Rodin unveiling the thinker before a captivated audience. A work of art.
Yeah.
Have you not felt that way, Detective?
No, Mr. Poirot. I'm happy just to slap the cuffs on him.
Well,
Yeah.
there is some artistry in that as well, I suppose.
Where would you like the unveiling, Poirot? The lounge?
Perfect.
Then I will
Yep.
gather all the passengers in the lounge.
Well, like I said, I think it's everyone that has been related to the Armstrong case. Because everyone is connected and they are all involved. Because actually, a few of those people that have been involved, they are actually, in fact, like the most dominant right-handed, and there is the 2 left-handeds. That's where I'm going with that. So it's about to get
Can I get you
dicey.
something, Monsieur Poirot? Everyone is so tense.
An aperitif soon, Monsieur Fauchet, with pleasure, when the matter is resolved.
Yes, I would definitely like a drink out of that. Okay, everybody, here we go. It is the end of the case. Let's see. Let's open the mind map. Let's go. What is everybody thinking? Finally completed my investigation. All the parts are guilty. Were guilty, even the. Okay. Let's do it.
Monsieur Bouc, are the train crew locked in their quarters?
Yes, they are.
Then the stage is set for the final act.
It's the final
Ladies
countdown.
and gentlemen, I have gathered you together to hear my reconstruction of the murder of Samuel Edward Rachett, also known as Cassetti. There is not one, but two possible solutions of the crime. I shall put them both before you, and I shall ask Monsieur Bouc and Dr. Constantine here to judge which solution is the correct one.
2 solutions?
Mr. Poirot, I am hardly qualified.
Nevertheless, your assistance is required.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you all know the facts of the case. Rachett was found stabbed to death this morning. He was last known to be alive at 12:37 a.m. last night when he spoke to the wagon-lit conductor through the door. His watch was found to be badly dented, and it had stopped at
But he spoke in
1:15.
French.
Dr. Constantine, who examined the body, puts the time of death as having occurred between midnight and 2 in the morning. At half an hour after midnight, as you all know, the train ran into a snowdrift. After that time, it was impossible for anyone to leave the train. So, here is my first theory. The enemy, as Rachett expected, joined the train at Vinkovsky by the door left open by Captain Arbuthnot and Monsieur McQueen, who had just descended to the platform. He was equipped with a wagon-lit jacket, which he wore over his ordinary clothes, and a pass key which enabled him to gain access to Rachett's compartment in spite of the doors being locked. Rachett was under the influence of a sleeping draught. This man stabbed him with great ferocity, 12 wounds in all. He left the compartment through the communicating door to Madame Hubbard's compartment.
Yes, that's so. Scared me half out of my wits.
The murderer thrust the dagger he had used into Mrs. Hubbard's handbag in passing. Without knowing it, he lost a button of his uniform. Then he slipped out of the compartment and along the corridor. He put the uniform jacket into Detective Locke's suitcase to cast suspicion on her. And a few minutes later, dressed in his ordinary clothes, he left the train just before it started off again, using the same means for egress, the door near the dining car.
Okay. They all seem to be reacting differently
That
to
is the
that.
first hypothesis. But there's
Here's
a
the
second.
second.
For that, we must examine the motive for the crime.
Yeah.
Why was Rachett killed?
Revenge.
The motive is clear. Revenge, of course. Nothing was stolen. And we know that Rachett had made many enemies. This was a premeditated crime, meticulously planned.
Several months before the departure.
Since the kidnapping and death of little Daisy Armstrong, which traumatized many people close to the family. Even when the police concluded that it was Suzanne Moreau, questions remained.
It up, yeah.
Detective Locke continued her investigation, as did others. They became convinced the truth lay elsewhere. We now
Yes.
know who the real murderer of Daisy is.
Of course it was Rachett.
It is clear now that Daisy's killer was Rachett, also known as Cassetti,
Michael
and
Clark.
Michael Clark, and how many other names. But of course, many of you have known this for a long time. It is obvious that the 12 stab wounds are not a random number.
It's
Dr.
not.
Constantine's analysis revealed that some stab wounds appeared to have been caused by a right-handed attacker. Others indicated the knife wielder was left-handed. Some wounds were deep, more than one fatal. Yet others were not much more than mere scratches. What can explain these discrepancies? This leads us to an obvious conclusion. They are symbolic.
A jury in the United States, maybe? Or Daisy's age? Ooh, I would maybe say...
12 stabs. 12! The same number as a trial jury in the United States. But not just a jury of 12 members condemning him to death, but 12 executioners as well. This self-appointed jury had meticulously planned for everything except
Snow.
snow.
Mm-hmm.
The avalanche that stopped us, as well as the presence of not one but two detectives on the train. They had to improvise, to hastily add clues and false leads.
The Red Camino. The conductor's jacket is definitely a red herring.
The conductor's jacket, found in Detective Locke's suitcase, was put there only to cast suspicion upon her.
Where's the Red Camino?
This woman in a red kimono does not exist. I don't know which of the passengers it was. It does not really matter. It was just a performance, a charade to introduce another
'cause we've not seen
possible
it.
culprit to muddy the waters.
The broken watch.
The time on Rachett's broken watch was deliberately set to conceal the true time of the crime.
Because the window was open and the fact that the cold had altered the actual possibility of actually getting an identification of what time the date of the murder.
The vial of vaping liquid incriminated
Incriminates
Captain Arbuthnot.
Arbuthnot.
However, he had a solid alibi confirmed by Monsieur McQueen. Impossible then to suspect him. All these false leads were intended for me. But I am Poirot. I understood the truth. We have a train full of suspects. It's time to identify who the real culprits are. Let's start with Detective Locke.
No. Because she was not seen during the crime. She was drugged.
Planting the conductor's jacket in her suitcase was an attempt to implicate Detective Locke, but she couldn't fake her drugged condition. Dr. Constantine can testify that the drugged tea incapacitated her for hours, and she had 2 relapses. Let us move on to Monsieur McQueen. When I told him about Cassetti, he looked very surprised that I managed to make the connection between him and the Armstrong case. He told me, "But I thought we had..." I think he meant...
I thought we had already arrested I thought we had arrested him.
No, he could not think that.
No, okay. So I thought eliminated all the
You
clues.
didn't leave any real clues linking the murder to the Armstrong kidnapping. Moreover, you insisted that Rachett did not speak
But
French
we did hear
when
a
you
French
knew
voice.
I had heard a voice calling out in French that was supposed to be Rachett.
I do not think he stabbed. What do you guys think? I don't think he did. I'm gonna say no.
I do not think that...
Okay. Okay. His father.
You took some pleasure in leaving me false clues, I think. It was quite annoying. But you told me yourself that your father was the district attorney who handled the Armstrong case.
Yeah,
The case
okay.
haunted my father. At first,
Okay,
he
yeah.
believed Suzanne Moreau had helped her boyfriend, Noah, to kidnap Daisy. even though there were questions that went unanswered, and a young policewoman refused to let it go, continuing to find discrepancies, but never enough to reopen the official investigation.
That
that's where
policewoman sits there. Her name is Joanna Locke.
Then tell him. Tell him how in the end my father believed you, how he resigned a job that he loved, racked with guilt that he may have let that monster go free. He died young, broken, his faith in justice broken. That's what Rachett did to him.
Thank you for your honesty, Monsieur McQueen. Your
So you stab
father
him.
is one more victim of the man who called himself Rachett.
Okay.
Now, I will turn to Rachett's valet, Monsieur Masterman.
I think he did. He's the
I
valet.
suspect that
No.
Rachett was not a kindly employer. But that's not a good enough
No,
reason to
no,
kill
okay.
him.
No, I would say it was the two fake. Well, the sleeping pills.
Rachett sensed danger
Yeah,
close
and
to
you
him,
naturally-
and he wanted to stay awake. You gave him sleeping pills without his knowledge. Once he was
Boom.
sound asleep,
Yeah.
you could do what you had to do in peace.
Sir, I'll tell you the truth. I was Colonel Armstrong's adjutant in the war, sir, and afterwards, I was his valet in New York. I'm afraid I concealed the fact this morning. It was very wrong of me, sir, but I knew how suspicious it would look.
Is that all you have to say?
Yeah.
That's all, sir.
Okay.
Now,
Next one.
to leave no suspicious stone unturned, let us move on to Monsieur Book.
What? Me? A suspicious stone?
No. The director of the company, yeah. What does he have?
His lofty position as director does
Oh,
not
okay.
clear him of suspicion. Murderers can come in all shapes and sizes.
Well, if our friendship.
Monsieur Book is certainly a very
Okay,
close friend.
fine, I
but
guess it's the middle one.
Never allow my affection to take precedence over reason. It is not
Okay.
tangible proof.
Okay then, so he found me a room on the
Look,
train.
my friend, of course you are not guilty. You did everything you could to get me on this train. What madness would cause you to ensure, and I speak with all modesty, that the best detective in the world could be present to witness your crime?
But doesn't our friendship count as well?
Most assuredly, but a murderer can wear all sorts of masks, including friendship.
I'm gonna
Let
have to
us
take that into
consider
consideration.
Our ever-efficient wagon-lit conductor, Pierre Michel.
Yes, he stabbed him. 100%. Father and Mrs. Moto.
No, that is
No,
his
he
motive.
poisoned.
I
He
need
sleeping
real,
pills.
tangible proof.
Yeah, the sleeping pills. He did the pills. He drugged Miss Locke
Your
as well.
admission that you drugged Detective Locke immediately
There you go.
incriminates you.
My
But
bad.
the murder could not have been possible without your very capable assistance. Your knowledge of train procedures made the murder possible, and your position in the corridor of the train allowed you to be the perfect alibi for several passengers. And your motive?
Indeed.
Suzanne Moreau, Daisy
Yeah.
Armstrong's poor nanny, who was wrongly accused and committed suicide, was your daughter.
Sit down for
Boom.
He got what he deserved. My poor daughter has finally been avenged. My Suzanne. My child.
Let's move on now to Monsieur Hardman, one of 3 detectives on this train.
Yes, he stabbed him. Tends to be a sales. Yeah, but that's not what implicates Mr. Mitchell's testimony. He is. I would say the detective, but then that's not evidence why he stabbed him. Mr. Mitchell's
Monsieur
testimony.
Hardman, I think you are a real detective. But you were never hired by Rachett. Your
Yeah.
alibi was that you were watching the corridor to protect Rachett, which, of course, you never
did,
You
yeah.
protected Pierre Michel. However, we just saw that his alibi doesn't hold up, so neither does yours.
I don't know about the conductor.
Being Suzanne's fiancé, you had a substantial motive to punish Rachett. You used your detective skills, just as Detective Locke did, to hunt him down and finally avenge the death of your beloved.
Boom.
That's right, Mr. Poirot. I do have some detective skills.
I never doubted it.
Trebion. We're getting to the
Now,
bottom of this. Right.
Fräulein Schmidt,
Schmitz.
a lady's maid with the soul of a cook.
Yes, I think she stabbed. She lied about Princess Douglas. She drugged Miss Locke as well.
Schmidt, you
Yep.
told me of your remorse for drugging Detective Locke. I believe you are sincere. However, as the cook of the Armstrong family, you experienced the drama from within. The death of Daisy, then
And the nanny.
Sonia Armstrong, who died
Yep.
in childbirth.
Childbirth,
and
yep.
finally,
But she would have been there.
Suzanne and John Armstrong.
So much
All this.
misfortune in that poor family. The
You're
death of this
fucking right,
criminal
that's
is
too
only
much fuck-
justice.
Justice!
Let us move on to Countess Andreni. I was impressed by the earnestness of her husband when he swore to me solemnly on his honor that his wife never left her compartment that night.
Oh.
Should I believe it?
Believe it? Of course she fucking
Even if
stabbed.
it seems logical, it's
Oh.
more complicated than that. I believe Countess Andreni.
Okay, guess she didn't. Okay, she is Sonia. Morally Rebecca stabbed two. What is up? She is Sonia Armstrong's sister. Morally incapable. I would say she's.
On the contrary,
No.
this fact gives her a
Yeah, it
motive
does.
for
Okay.
murder.
Right, no, it's incapable of stabbing.
Countess Andreni, being Sonia Armstrong's sister, you had every reason in the world to want to avenge her. But you were
'Cause you had the
incapable
vertigo.
of stabbing someone, even
Well.
after what he had done to you and your family. The night of the crime, you simply
Oh,
took
yeah, of
a
course, sleeping
pill. I appreciate the irony that nearby, Detective Locke was also in a drugged
Yeah,
sleep.
I suppose that
When
works,
you
eh?
awoke, you thought the nightmare was over.
Rudolph?
Hush, my love. Hush.
Excellent transition. I was coming to you.
He did it. He
Count Andrei.
fucking stabbed. Of course he fucking stabbed. Yeah. He replaced Mrs. He replaced.
12 people.
Yep.
A jury. This was very important
Boom,
to all
yeah.
of you. If
Totes.
Countess Andreni did not stab Rachett, someone had to take her place.
And
you,
one of her and her husband.
the beloved husband. I've seen how fiercely you love and protect
Yeah.
your wife.
Enough! I would do anything for Helena. Anything. Even that.
Yes.
And your mission.
Even that.
Boom.
Let's move on to Monsieur Foscarelli.
Yes. Of course the Italian did it. He's Italian. That's the main reason why he fucking took him out. He's Italian. No, it wasn't that. It was because Miss Locke's investigation.
Detective Locke found out that you were the Armstrong chauffeur and that you
That
planned
ties
to
in.
travel on the same train at the same time as Rachett. That is what made her decide to obtain a ticket as well.
Are you guys having
Unfortunately,
fun
she
yet?
could not
I
prevent
fucking
the
am.
Oh,
Have you
Mamma
lost
mia.
your tongue, Mr. Foscarelli?
oh, Daisy. She was the delight of the house. Tonio, she called me. And she would sit in the car and pretend to drive me.
And you, Mademoiselle Olson, a champion for the immigrants, a worthy calling.
she's been so off, yes. Mrs. Debenhams. Mrs. Hubbard's latch.
Mademoiselle Olson, you
Hell
supported
yeah.
Madame Hubbard's story about her
Boom,
connecting
connected
door
the door,
latch.
yeah.
A story that I later demonstrated to be impossible. So, you deliberately lied to me, and you also lied about Mademoiselle Debenham's whereabouts.
Hell yeah.
Enough! I can't take this anymore. I know what you want from me, Mr. Poirot. Very well. Here it is. She was my little Daisy, my angel, so patient. When I patched a scrape or took her temperature, that was my job. But she was so much more to me. She was a shining light in an ever-darkening world. I've tried to honor her by caring for children who have lost everything.
She did
Thank
seem
you,
too good to be
Mademoiselle
true,
Olson.
so
you
yeah.
too shed light on your part in this mystery.
She was a nurse at Daisy.
You were Daisy Armstrong's nurse. I will ask you no more questions. It is enough that you have admitted what I know to be
It
the
does, 'cause
truth,
obviously-
and I
come on.
understand. Let's move
That
on.
wasn't made.
Dr. Constantine.
You suspect me? I know none of these people. I didn't know Rachett either, and I've taken a solemn oath to help people, not murder them.
He did not stab. And he is a doctor, he's booked testimony.
You are one of the
Yeah.
few people in this room not to have any connection with the Armstrong case.
I agree.
Moreover, your alibi is confirmed by Monsieur Bouc, whom I would trust with my
But
life.
we've already knocked
That
that out
is-
anyway.
That is very kindly said, my friend.
We now come to Mademoiselle Debenham and Captain Arbuthnot, whose relationship was not in doubt from the moment I inspected your room at the hotel.
You have a bloody nerve.
Oh, fuck
Indeed,
off, you
I do.
idiot.
We're getting married.
Oh, there you go.
Congratulations. But I would rather talk about your relationship to John Armstrong.
Indubitably so. Right. Let's catch up to John Armstrong. Soldiers! Where else would they be connected? Come on, people!
My little grey cells did not let me down.
Cause what else?
Captain
Cause
Arbuthnot,
John, yeah.
You served in the army with John Armstrong. What I don't understand is why a man your age is still a captain. One might expect you to be a colonel as well.
Ever fought in a war, Poirot?
It was war that first brought me to England.
Then you know what it's like. There's a shattering sound, and death, and mistakes, acting on intelligence that proved to be wrong. I sent a patrol to their death. Good men, brave men, wasted. John testified on my behalf at a court-martial. I'm not a colonel. I don't deserve to be, you bloody fool. But I'm also not imprisoned. John remained my best friend
until he's deaf.
There, you have my story. Understand now?
Archie, calm down, please.
You're right, Mary. What you see in me, I don't understand.
Oh, Archie, I see in you what John saw.
Miss Debenham, I'm sorry.
My turn, is it?
I'm afraid so. And you have caused me quite a puzzlement. Your connection with the Armstrong family was not obvious.
No, but there is
Then
something.
I remembered the job you currently hold.
Oh, shit. She was the teacher. Teacher of the secretary. Yes, she was the teacher.
I'm
Boom.
right again. That happens to me a lot.
You were the teacher of...
Daisy Armstrong.
No, she was
No,
the
fuck's
teacher
sake.
of Countess Andrény.
Okay, fine. There you go.
were the teacher of
Sorry.
Helena Andrény, whose maiden name was Helena Goldenberg before she married
Micking
Count
it in.
Andrény.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Why lie to you? She was an excellent student.
There you
Captain
go.
Arbuthnot.
Hell yeah, he stabbed. Mr. McQueen's testimony? Wait. Oh, it's the vape liquid? No. Mr. McQueen said
You
it
had
didn't tie
one
up.
of the
It did not tie
strongest
up.
alibis, thanks to Mr. McQueen. But his testimony melted like a snowflake. There went your alibi. Poof.
Poof.
Unless you have another
Poof,
one.
everybody. Poof. Yep. I
As
knew
for
that you stabbed.
Mademoiselle Debenham.
I think she stabbed. Words at Istanbul. Mrs. Olsen's testimony?
Mademoiselle Olsen
Yeah.
was the only one who could confirm your alibi.
So
I
all the
think you
alibis
know
were
where you
all
stand.
bullshit.
Very good, Mr. Poirot. Are you satisfied?
I will be soon. Now I must turn to Sonia Armstrong's godmother, Princess Dragomirov.
Oh, of course she fucking did. Cause yes, she It's Mr. Schmitz. Mr.
Her
Schmitz.
assistant is one
No.
of the accomplices, but I cannot use this fact to
No, I would
accuse her.
say I would definitely say the woman with character.
Not all people
Nope,
with
left-handed.
a strong
Fuck's
personality
sake.
are murderers. It is
Fine.
said the Kremlin still fears her, but scaring Russia is not proof she is a murderer.
Alright, well, the left-handed is the only one.
Princess Dragomirov.
It's not my first
you
guess.
weren't on my list of suspects at the start, given your social position.
I left my social position in a cold country.
Do you
Well, it's cold
object
now.
to being addressed as princess?
I deny people the opportunity. It makes a good story to tell their friends. It also guarantees a good table in the best restaurants.
Princess, there is also, forgive me, your extreme physical fragility.
It does not stop me when I must be strong.
Indeed. Of more importance, though, is the fact that you're the only left-handed person on the train. And
Oh,
the
I
single
thought everyone else
blow
there was-
to Rachett from a left-handed person was very, forgive me, weak. Finally, I'm afraid I
Weak.
know the alibi that you shared with Fraulein Schmidt is false.
You have
Okay.
been very thorough, sir. I hope you will permit me to say we are much alike.
I am honored.
Okay.
Now it is time to end with Mrs.
Mrs.
Hubbard.
Hubbard.
Or should I say,
Linda Arden.
Linda Arden.
Arden. Boom! Bet you guys weren't
If
seeing that
Princess
shit.
Dragomirov hadn't told me about her relationship with this famous actress, I might not have made the connection. But you are a
Yeah, the way
great
she's been
actress,
acting.
madame. Your
It's
performance
totally-
as a flighty, self-involved woman was superb. I never
Amazing.
would have guessed something entirely different. As for what ties you to the Armstrong family, it is obvious.
Oh. No, I know it's not the mother of Daisy. Or maybe? No. Godmother of Daisy. No, we're the godmother. Godmother of Mrs. Aunt? Sister of Mrs. Dragomov.
No.
No. Aunt?
Think.
No. Sister of Sonia?
I do not.
No. Sonia's mother? There you go. Sonia's mother.
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
Mrs. Hubbard, you are the mother of Sonia Armstrong and Mrs. Andrény.
Of course she fucking stabbed. Proximity of Rachett. Toilet bag hiding the latch.
Madame Hubbard,
Aye,
you
that was
really
such a
are
bad lie.
remarkable actress. You put so much effort into your
I was
character.
trying to remember the
and into
names in
staging
my
the
head.
role.
That's what I was trying to
saw
get.
it as a perfect mosaic, each person playing his or her allotted part. So carefully arranged that if suspicion should fall on any one person, the evidence of one or more of the others would clear the accused person and confuse the issue. Everything was meticulously planned. But you hadn't expected that Detective Locke and I would be on this train, and the avalanche would block it on the night of the murder. You had to improvise.
Yeah.
But again, improvisation would be another of your skills as an actress. So, you came up with the story that the latch on the door that communicated with Rachett's compartment was hidden by the handbag.
I always fancied myself in comedy parts. That slip about the sponge bag was silly. Shows you should always rehearse properly. You know all about it, Mr. Poirot. You're a very wonderful man, but even you can't quite imagine what it was like. That awful day. I was just crazy with grief. So were the servants. We decided then and there that the sentence of death that Rachett had escaped had got to be carried out. There were 12 of us, or rather 11. Suzanne's father was over in France, of course. First we thought we'd draw lots as to who should do it, but in the end we decided on this way. It was the driver, Antonio, who suggested it. Mary worked out all the details later with Hector McQueen. It took a long time to perfect our plan. We first had to track Rachett down. Hardman managed that in the end. Then we had to try and get Edward and Hector into his employment. Well, we managed that.
I see.
Then we had a consultation with Suzanne's father. Captain Arbuthnot was very keen on having 12 of us. He seemed to think it made it more orderly. He didn't like the stabbing idea much, but he agreed that it did solve most of our difficulties. Well, Suzanne's father was willing. Suzanne had been his only child. We knew from Hector that Rachett would be coming back from the east, sooner or later, by the Orient Express. With Pierre Michel actually working on that train, the chance was too good to be missed. My daughter's husband had to know, of course, and he insisted on coming on the train with her. Hector wrangled it so that Rachett selected the right day for traveling when Michel would be on duty. And then, at the last minute, you came. For the rest of the story, you worked out everything, Mr. Poirot. You were right about all of us. What are you going to do about it? If it must all come out, can't you lay the blame upon me and me only? I would have stabbed that man 12 times willingly. It wasn't only that he was responsible for my daughter's death and her child's, and that of the other child who might have been alive and happy now. It was more than that. There had been other children kidnapped before Daisy, and there might be others in the future. Society had condemned him. We were only carrying out the sentence, but it's unnecessary to bring all these others into it. All these good, faithful souls.
You are a director of the company, Monsieur Bouc.
What do you say? Yeah. What's he gonna say? I'm watching.
In my opinion, Poirot, the first theory you put forward was the correct one. Decidedly so. I suggest that that is the solution we offer to the police. You agree, Doctor?
Certainly, I agree. As regards the medical evidence, I think that I made one or two fantastic suggestions.
Then, having placed my solution before you, I have the honor to retire from the case.
Get something nice to drink. And a fromage. Get him a bit of cheese. Let's do it. There we have it, folks. The case has been solved. I hope you guys enjoyed that. There we go. No? Okay, we're getting a little bit more, are we? Oh, Poirot is sleeping. Oh?
I'm sorry to wake you up in the middle of the night, Poirot. but it couldn't wait. There was a detail that bothered me in my preliminary autopsy of Rachett's body. I went back to examine the body and I discovered a wound covered by another. The blow I hadn't seen was delivered by a thinner, sharper blade. So there were not 12, but 13 stab wounds.
12 stabs for 12
jurors.
It doesn't work with 13 wounds. The symmetry is destroyed.
It can't be one of the culprits who stabbed him twice?
Doctor, a different knife was used. There is only one explanation. Somehow, some way, there is a 13th murderer on this train. We must tell Book. The case is not solved.
Oh. Okay, am I gonna take control? Agatha Christie is also known as Lady Malawan. Okay. I thought we were finished there. But are we? Do I have to take back the controller?
Please, come in. Ah, Book. I see we are moving at last.
They moved all that giant of snow.
The way was finally cleared while we slept. If all goes well, we will arrive in Venice this evening. The train will be there for several hours for refueling and reprovisioning. What do we do with the 13th murderer? Do you have a lead?
I thought about it. There is one clue that was left aside in my investigation. The diary I found in Rachett's safe mentioned an appointment in Venice. Someone with the initials A.W.
Yeah.
He will never keep the appointment. But there should be enough time. I must try to keep that appointment for him.
Where will this mean with Rachett? Oh, shit. Inspect. Right, so this was... Wednesday, arriving to Venice. Fonte dei Consigli. It was Venice, wasn't it? It's in Venice. What's the date? December 18th. What did I consider? Haircut? I think it might be a haircut because the Y. I don't know. Time. It was the 18th, wasn't it? 18th. At 1 o'clock. Way it's sitting. Or 3 p.m. Yeah, Venice.
I must admit I'm not right this time.
Cairo?
No, not good.
Okay, what am I missing? Let's just make someone on the 18th of December. Well, I kind of knew that. Meaning it was 10. Oh, right. 10 p.m.? And obviously it was, say, Venice. If it's not Venice, then I'm wrong. There you go.
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
Sorry about that, folks. I thought we were done there. So is that us? So we are just virtually come to the end. So we solved the case, but then we have discovered there is another murderer on the train. So now what have we got to do? Find your Hastings. I suspect somebody can help me with this convince. My friend Hastings also fills this role, but I have to find him somewhere in someone else's time. Talk to Mr. Constantine. Now we're running into the police will take charge of the goods. So I've found it. You'll know what to do. Right. Okay. Where is Doctor? Where is the Doctor? Room 101. So I thought we were just finished there. Well, we solved the murder, but like it says, we have discovered...
I don't have
There is-
time for small talk. How would it look to the police if I asked a suspected murderer for help?
Wait, the suspected murderer is in
I don't have time for small talk.
107?
I don't have time for small talk.
Okay, wait, 107, 105. Right, so it's not in there.
How would
104.
it look to the... I don't have time for small... How would it...
101? Okay, guessing I'm going back up train. Okay. Like I said, I thought we were actually just finished after the murders. But like I says, we have discovered that there's another murderer on the train. So I'm just...
I don't...
Right, that 202 is my room.
I think we should let Rachett rest in peace.
How would it...
I don't have time for small talk.
I need to find everyone up car. I think I'm guessing that's where we're going. Far up the car, mate. Right, okay. There's a dock. There's book. Right.
Doctor, a moment. Have you made arrangements for Rachett's body?
Yes, it will be collected by the Italian authorities when we reach Venice. The autopsy will be performed there. However, there is something odd.
Oh?
Yeah.
Since the train is French, jurisdiction must be shared. When I told them you were already on the scene, they have both agreed to support your investigation until we reach Paris. Ratchett's
Cool.
compartment will be sealed until we arrive there. All of those who conspired to kill Rachett are to be confined to the train until then as well.
So, thanks to you, I am the rope in a tug-of-war between two countries.
Lovely.
But I thought you would want to be in charge. And isn't it odd we continue on our journey with a trainload of people that police consider potential murderers?
Calm yourself, Doctor. It is not the first time I find myself in the middle. And to be
No,
honest,
cool.
I welcome the chance to see this case through. It is fast becoming one of the most challenging of my career.
Right, phone book. Everything
So,
okay?
My dear book, how does our journey progress?
We are well on our way to Venice. All of our passengers are locked in their rooms by order of the authorities. I watch them when they want to stretch their legs, like the captain there behind you.
I see that you have the situation well in hand. Would you
Tell me,
be
Dennis.
able to accompany me to Venice to follow a lead?
I'm honored you asked me, my friend. I would have loved to help you. But I have to manage the situation here. I must make sure no one gets off the train in Venice and that Ratchett's body is transferred.
Okay. Captain Nova's not coming with me to
I'm not
Venice.
going to ask a murderer to help me catch himself.
Right, okay. So I need someone else. Oh. Coming to Venice?
Mademoiselle Locke, you are clearly an excellent police officer. Could you accompany me to Venice for an investigation into Ratchett's activities? There is much we still need to know.
Well, yes. It would be an honor to work with you. And I'm glad you trust me. What do you have in mind?
There was a notation in Ratchett's appointment book. He had an appointment.
With who?
There were only the initials A.W. They were to meet at 10 o'clock at the Fontana dei Conigli. I want to know who Rachett was meeting and why.
But you've already discovered the 12 conspirators.
But
Why
there's
is
an
this
extra
meeting
one.
important?
Unfortunately, the case is not complete. Dr. Constantine has discovered the presence of a 13th stab wound.
One of them could have stabbed him twice.
The wound was made with another, finer blade. Why would one of them have used two knives? Did they want to confess they killed him more than the others? And if so, why bother to deny it when they have already confessed? No, it makes no sense. And I do not close a case until all questions have been answered. You, of all people, must understand this.
You're right. I do understand. I'll help you.
Thank you. Together, we will uncover the truth. We will arrive in a few hours. Take the opportunity to rest.
I slept well last night. No more effects of the drug.
Excellent. Then be prepared when we reach Venice. We have another mystery to solve.
Sacre bleu! Look at us. Was I thinking the case was ending, but now we're into Venice?